The story begins in the forest with a team of hunters who had killed many animals, and these hunters used to skin the animals they hunted and sell the hides in the city. They were just about to tie up the hides and get ready to leave when the forest's tribal people attacked them and surrounded them from all sides. The tribal people were very angry and began showering arrows on them, because of which many members of the hunting team were killed. This tribal clan attacked because their chief's daughter had been kidnapped by someone, and the tribal people believed that it was the work of these same hunters. These hunters also fought back against the tribals, but the tribals were greater in number, so they could not stand against them, and many of their people were killed.
Now the captain of the hunting team also understood that if they fought the tribals, they would all be killed. So he told his team, pick up as many hides as you can and quickly get to the boat. Here, the movie's main character, Glass, comes to his son and tells him to reach the boat quickly. Just then, they see another large group of tribal people approaching, so they stop fighting and, to save their lives, run quickly toward the boat. In the meantime, many more people from the hunting team are killed. Only a few people reach the boat and leave from there. After they go, the tribal people seize all the remaining hides from the hunters, and the clan chief does not find his daughter there. Now the clan chief tells his people to pick up all the hides left here by those American hunters. We will give these hides to the French hunters in exchange for horses and guns, and we will keep searching for my daughter until she is found. On the other side, even after traveling far, these American hunters remain afraid and keep their guns aimed and ready, because they also knew that the tribal people would not give up chasing them so easily and could attack them anytime. Now they don't understand which direction they should go. Then the captain asks Glass what they should do. Glass says that they should leave this boat and go by land, because those tribal people will follow the river and quickly reach them. That is why land is the safest route for all of them. But a man in their group named Gerald does not like Glass's decision to go by land. He says that if they go by land, those people will kill them quickly, because the land route is very long and it will take many weeks to get home. But the team's captain tells Gerald that Glass knows this place better than they do, so they should obey him, and they decide that they will now go by land. Now Gerald also accepts the captain's decision, but some people still don't like Glass's decision to go by land, so they decide to reach home by taking the river with a boat. After this, those who were going by land get off the boat, and the people sitting in the boat proceed along the river. Here the captain says to everyone that they should leave all the hides here so they won't face any trouble on the way. Everyone agrees with the captain, after which they hide all the hides under stones so that if in the future they ever come to this place again, they can find their hides. And now all of them start walking through the forest. But now their difficulties are about to increase because winter will soon arrive and they have to walk for many weeks to reach their home. Besides this, they have no other option, so they are all prepared to face the cold. Walking by foot through the forest, evening arrives, and now they decide to stop at a place and spend the night there. After a while, it becomes night, and they all sleep in the forest. The next morning, we see that the people who thought Glass's decision to travel by land was wrong now regret their mistake. The tribal people come and kill them, and the tribals realize that some people have left on foot through the forest. So they spread throughout the forest to search for those remaining American hunters. One tribal finds the footprints of the American hunters walking on the ground. He goes and tells his clan chief. The clan chief thinks his daughter is with them, and now the tribals follow the footprints and go after them. Meanwhile, these people keep moving forward by foot through the forest for many hours and become very tired. So they set up camp to rest for a while, and everyone starts resting. Everyone is hungry, but there is nothing to eat. So Glass goes alone into the forest to look for game. After going a little distance, he feels someone is nearby. Glass picks up his gun and gets ready, and then he sees two small bear cubs in front of him. Before Glass can leave, a big bear attacks him, making Glass drop his gun. The bear lifts and slams Glass repeatedly and badly injures him. Now Glass can do nothing, so he lies still on the ground. When Glass becomes quiet, the bear also starts to leave from there. But as Glass, in order to get game, somehow reaches his gun, the bear comes again to attack him. Glass quickly shoots it with his gun, but the bullet hits the bear not in the head, but in its throat. The bear gets even more enraged and tears at Glass's throat with its claws, but the bear doesn't stop and claws Glass's entire body badly. Because of the bullet wound, the bear had also become weak. Now Glass somehow takes out a knife and strikes the bear many times. Both of them roll down a slope and fall. After that, the bear falls on top of Glass, but the bear is dead, and Glass is almost dead too, because the bear has ripped his throat wide open and there are deep wounds all over his body. Glass is in extreme pain. When Glass fired the gun, his companions heard the shot, so they search and reach there, and they see the bear lying on top of Glass. With great difficulty, they pull the bear off him and take Glass with them. Now one of the men begins to stitch Glass's wounds. Glass is in terrible agony. His throat is badly cut, and there are very deep wounds all over his body. Seeing Glass's injuries, they conclude that he will not survive and will die in just a few hours. On the other side, the tribal chief gives the remaining hides taken from the American hunters to the French hunters. In return, he takes guns and horses from them. This means trouble is about to increase for those American hunters, Glass and his companions, because before this, the tribals used to attack with bows and arrows, but now, the tribals also have horses and guns. Now, because Glass is badly wounded and cannot walk, they make a wooden stretcher for him. They place Glass on it and start moving forward, taking turns carrying him. They bring Glass quite far, but the path ahead is very difficult because there is a high mountain they have to pass. The mountain path is so so bad that even a single person cannot climb it properly, so lifting Glass up there is impossible. Still they try, but they cannot get Glass up. Then their captain tells one of his men to put a cloth over Glass's mouth. In fact, he is about to shoot Glass because he thinks Glass is suffering, and in any case, he cannot survive. Glass is writhing in pain, and taking him home from here is almost impossible. The captain is about to kill Glass when Glass's son steps in front and says, "Don't do this." The captain takes pity on him and does not shoot Glass, because thanks to Glass they are all still alive. The captain tells everyone present that whoever stays with Glass until he dies will be given $0 upon returning to the village. The captain says Glass has helped all of them, and he wants Glass to have a natural death. When Glass dies, those two people should perform his last rites and then return. Now Glass's son immediately says that he will stay, and there is another boy there named Fraser. He says he will stay whether he gets $0 or not. Glass's son Hawk and Fraser are both young, so the captain says one more man should stay with him. Here Gerald steps forward and says he will stay, but $0 is too little. Then the captain says, "Fine, you will get dollars." And then Glass's son and the other boy say, "You can keep our dollars too." Hearing this, Gerald says $300 is enough. He can buy a house with that. And anyway, it's a matter of 2 to 3 days. Glass will not stay alive for longer than that. Gerald agrees to stay with them. Now these 3 people remain with Glass there, and the rest go on ahead. Gerald sits beside Glass and waits for him to die, but Glass shows no sign of dying. The next day, Glass's son and the other boy go to hunt for food and fetch water. Then Gerald starts digging a pit nearby. But why is Gerald doing that? Is he planning to bury Glass alive? We will find out ahead. Many more hours pass like this. When Gerald sees that Glass still hasn't died, he angrily comes to Glass and says, "Why don't you die? Because of you, we will all lose our lives, since the tribal people are still madly searching for us, and if they come here, they will kill us all. You can save your son's life and all of ours by giving your own life." Now Gerald says to Glass, "If you lower your eyelids, I will understand that you are ready to die." Poor Glass tries for a long time not to blink, but then Gerald says that it seems you don't even want to save your son. Hearing this, and wanting to save his son, Glass lowers his eyelids. Seeing this, Gerald stuffs a cloth into his mouth and suffocates him, and Glass begins to die in agony. Just then, Glass's son arrives and pushes Gerald back with a gun. Glass's son points the gun at Gerald and threatens to kill him. Gerald tries to explain why he was doing this, but Glass's son doesn't listen to anything and begins to shout. After that, Gerald stabs Glass's son in the stomach right in front of Glass and kills him. Glass's throat is completely torn, so he cannot even scream. He only watches his son die, and Gerald lifts the boy's body and hides it a distance away so that when the third boy comes there, he won't see it. After a while, when that boy comes, he asks Gerald where Hawk is. Gerald tells him he must be nearby and will come in a little while. Poor Glass tries to tell the boy, whose name is Brizer, that Gerald killed his son, but he cannot tell him because no sound can come from his mouth. Now night falls, and Gerald and Brizer go to sleep. The next morning, Gerald wakes Brizer and lies to him, saying he saw 20 tribal clansmen coming rapidly toward them from a short distance away. If they reach here, they will tear them to pieces. Hearing this, Brizer gets scared and says that if they leave, what will happen to Glass and his son Hawk? To this, Gerald says that if Hawk is alive, he will find them. Then the boy says Glass is still alive, and they promise the captain that after Glass dies, they will perform his last rites properly and then leave. After hearing this, Gerald grabs Glass by the legs and drags him very cruelly. Glass has wounds all over his body and screams in pain. Gerald throws Glass alive into the grave he dug the day before and starts shoveling dirt over him. Then the boy says, "What are you doing?" Gerald says he will die today or tomorrow anyway, and as we promised, his last rites will be performed properly, so I have fulfilled my promise. He throws a little dirt over him and leaves from there and tells the boy to come with him. Brizer feels very sorry for Glass's condition. He says to Glass, "Sorry, Mr. Glass, I have to go." And saying this, he places a bottle of water on top of Glass and leaves from there. Now Glass is alone here. He is in agony. For many hours, he lies half dead in the same place where they buried him and left. He thinks, if I am to die lying here anyway, then why not try to survive? Mustering all his courage, he moves his hands and feet and through great pain, crawls out of the grave. Glass is in tremendous pain. Crawling, he goes straight to the place where his son's corpse is. Seeing his son's body, he breaks down completely and begins to burn with a fire of revenge. After that, he lays his head on his son's body and falls asleep. On the other side, in the morning, Gerald wakes Brizer and says, "Get up quickly. We have to get out of here. 12 tribal clansmen are coming after us." Hearing this, Brizer says to Gerald that you said 20 were after us. He understands that Gerald lied to him, so he points a gun at Gerald. Then Gerald says to Brizer that he should thank him. He saved his life, and it was necessary to frighten him because they could not risk their lives for a half-dead man. Glass was going to die anyway, and if Brizer wanted to stay alive, he should do as Gerald says. Otherwise, he could go back alone to Glass. Hearing this, frightened, Brizer agrees to Gerald and moves on with him. On the other side, Glass is still in the same place, and now he feels hungry. He crawls to a place where an animal's skull is lying. He breaks off a bone and eats the dried meat from it. Then he crawls to the edge of a hill where he sees a river below. Glass is also thirsty now. With great difficulty, he crawls to the riverbank and starts drinking water. But when he drinks, the water runs out of his throat because his throat is cut. Now Glass first has to treat his wounds. He has a little gun gunpowder left. He gathers dry grass, lights a fire, and sprinkles a little gunpowder on the part of his neck where it is cut. Then he presses a burning stick to his neck, making the gunpowder spark, and the spark cauterizes his neck. He does this so that the torn wound will seal shut from the burning. During this, Glass suffers greatly and faints from the pain. After that, Glass remains for many days on the riverbank. By drinking water and eating the meat of dead animals, he keeps himself alive. One day, those tribal clansmen come along the riverbank, and before they can see Glass, he quickly jumps into the river. Swimming in the river, he gets far away from the tribals. After being in this icy cold water, Glass is in terrible condition from the cold. With great difficulty, he lights a fire and warms his body and decides to stay right there. Many days pass with Glass living there. Now his wounds have healed, and Glass has begun to walk a little. Because he is on the riverbank, he has no shortage of water, but getting enough food is very difficult. He would catch fish from the river and eat them raw to get by and keep himself alive. One night, as he is sleeping, he sees some flames, and when he goes toward them, there is a man who has made a very big kill and is eating it. Glass goes near him, and as soon as the man sees Glass, he aims his bow and arrow at him. Glass signals that he is no threat and only needs food. The man understands and gives Glass a piece of the kill to eat, and the two of them sleep there through the night. In the morning, the man looks at Glass's wounds and asks what happened to him. Glass tells him that he was hunting with his team and a wild bear did this to him. After that, his companions left him to die in the forest, and they also killed his son. Hearing this, the man feels very sad for Glass and says that the French hunters killed his entire family as well. Saying this, the man becomes very emotional, but he says he does not want to take revenge on the French because taking revenge is in the hands of the one above. Looking at Glass's wounds, the man says that Glass can travel with him, and then the two of them proceed on a horse for the next part of the journey. On the other side, Gerald and Breezer get close to their village, but before entering the village, Gerald tells Breezer that no one should find out what they did. He tells Breezer that if the truth comes out, the captain will hang them. Helpless, Breezer agrees. Now Gerald and the boy go to the captain, and Gerald tells the captain that they stayed with Glass until his last breath. They buried him with proper last rites, and Glass's son fell into the hands of the tribal people, and they escaped from there with their lives. Hearing this, the captain, according to his promise, gives them $100, but the boy leaves without taking the money. Gerald picks up the boy's money as well, and says that because of what happened on the journey, the boy is in shock. That is why he is doing this, and Gerald leaves as well. On the other side, Glass is traveling through the snow with that man when a snowstorm begins. Glass is sick, his wounds are festering, and because of this, he faints. The man builds a small wooden hut for Glass, takes off all his clothes, puts him inside, covers him from all sides, and lights a fire in front so he can get warmth. The night passes like this, and the next morning when Glass wakes up and looks around, the man is nowhere. When he goes a little farther, he sees someone has hanged that man from a tree, and nearby, Glass sees the French hunters. Glass understands that these people hanged him. Now Glass goes to their horses and sees a French hunter raping a girl, and this girl is none other than the tribal chief's daughter. In fact, these are the same French hunters from whom the tribal chief had taken horses and guns in exchange for the hides, and these same French hunters had kidnapped the chief's daughter, but the tribal chief thought the American hunters had kidnapped his daughter. After that, Glass quietly comes from behind and kills the man who was doing wrong with the chief's daughter and frees the girl. Here Glass cleverly mounts a horse and releases the rest of the horses, then fires a gun so that all the horses bolt. Now, because the French no longer have horses, they cannot chase Glass, but while fleeing, Glass drops his water bottle there. After fleeing, Glass spends the night under a tree, and in the morning he sees the tribals are about to reach him. He quickly mounts his horse and starts to run, but the tribals are quite close to him. He shoots one or two tribals and pushes the horse faster, and while running, a mountain comes up with a deep gorge below it. But Glass cannot stop now, because if he stops, the tribals will kill him. So Glass throws himself with a horse off the gorge, and after striking a tree, lands straight into the snow. The horse dies from falling directly onto the rocks below, but Glass is still alive because he collided with a tree and fell on a thick layer of snow. However, his condition is now very bad. A violent storm comes, and the cold increases greatly. If Glass doesn't find some warm place for himself, he will freeze to death. To survive the cold, Glass cuts open the horse's belly, removes all its insides, and sleeps inside it for the night, because he knows if he stays outside, he will die of the cold. Somehow he spends the entire night inside the horse's belly. In the morning, when he wakes up, the weather has become normal, and once again, he continues his journey. Meanwhile, at the place where Glass needs to reach, a French hunter arrives and asks the American hunters for help. They bring him inside. The captain asks what happened to him. The man says a man came who killed their captain and then set all their horses free. In fact, he is talking about Glass, and the man who was doing wrong with the chief's daughter was actually the French hunter's captain. The man says that after the horses were freed, their whole team scattered. Due to the cold, some died and some were killed by wolves. As evidence, the man shows them some belongings of his companions, and, showing them a water bottle, says that the man who killed their captain dropped this bottle while leaving, and this is the same bottle that Breezer had placed on top of Glass when he left him there. Breezer says this is Glass's bottle that he gave him. Now they ask the man where Glass killed his captain, and the man points them to a place 30 miles away. After this, Captain Breezer and a few men set out on horses to find Glass, and here Gerald understands that now he is going to get caught. After many hours of travel, night falls, and they reach the place where the man found the bottle. The captain tells everyone to search all around for Glass, and then they see a man in the distance. When they approach, it is none other than Glass. Seeing Glass, the captain is shocked because Gerald had reported him dead. The captain comes to Glass and asks what happened to him. Glass tells him the whole truth. After this, the captain quickly returns to his village to catch Gerald and looks for him. But Gerald has stolen all the money from the safe and fled. The angry captain hits Breezer and orders his men to arrest him. But Glass tells the captain that Breezer is not at fault. He didn't know anything about what happened there, so he should be released. Now the captain decides that he will go to catch Gerald because Gerald murdered Glass's son and also stole the money. Then Glass says he will go with him, but the captain says no. He needs rest. He will go alone to kill him. Glass says no. He has come from very far for him, and only he will kill him. The captain agrees to Glass, and both of them set out on horses to kill Gerald. They follow the tracks of Gerald's horse's hooves, and after going quite far, they split up. The captain tells Glass to go by the right path, and he will go by the left. Now the two separate, and while the captain is searching for Gerald, Gerald emerges from behind a large rock and holds the captain at gunpoint, asking what he is doing there. The captain says Gerald is accused of murder and must come with him, but Gerald does not agree. As the captain reaches for his gun to shoot him, Gerald shoots the captain and kills him. Hearing the gunshot, Glass comes that way and sees the captain's corpse lying there and that Gerald has fled. Now, acting wisely, Glass breaks a large branch and braces it against the captain's back so his back will be straight. Then he seats the captain on a horse and himself lies like a corpse on the second horse behind so that Gerald will think the man in front is Glass and the one lying behind is the captain's dead body, and that is what happens. Seeing the horses, Gerald thinks the man in front is Glass and the one lying behind is the captain's body. He shoots the man ahead and with a bullet, he falls. Gerald is happy and thinks Glass has now died. He slowly approaches the dead body, and when he reaches it and turns it over, he realizes it is not Glass, but the captain. Before Gerald can do anything, Glass rises from the rear horse and shoots Gerald. The bullet hits Gerald in the shoulder and he starts to run. Glass chases him, and in the pursuit, they reach a riverbank where a big fight happens between them. Both injure each other badly. Then we see the tribal clansmen on the other side of the river who want to kill them. When Glass is about to kill Gerald, he remembers the man who had given him meat and whom the French later hanged. That man had once told Glass that instead of taking revenge on a person who does evil, one should leave it to the one above. So Glass leaves Gerald in the river. Floating in the river, Gerald reaches the other side, where the tribals catch him and kill him.
Now they cross the river toward Glass, but they say nothing to Glass and are about to leave him there. In fact, the clan chief has gotten his daughter back, and she is the same girl whom Glass once rescued from the French when she was being raped. The girl tells her father about Glass, that he saved her life, and that is why they leave Glass there and go. With this, the story ends. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and be sure to like the video.